Hi everyone, I'm Hannah Forbes, Director of Marketing and Brand Strategy here at Forbes Professional. We're currently doing a series of webinars looking at the industry-specific challenges and solutions when it comes to commercial laundry. Today, we thought we'd specifically focus on the care sector. Obviously, the communal nature of the environment, coupled with the really high volume of visitors and the extreme vulnerability of some of the residents, makes it a high risk environment where hygiene is of paramount importance. Obviously, within that, laundry is a very central operation. So care operators tend to come to us looking to ensure that they've got not just the right machines in place, but also the right processes, as well as a reliable service support to ensure that they can really drive down on any downtime, which can be really impactful. Today I'm joined by Laura Spearing, who heads up our business development. Laura spends a lot of time working within the care sector, and I think she'll be able to deliver some really invaluable insights. So Laura, hi.
Hiya.
Laura, do you want to tell us a bit about your industry experience?
Yeah, of course. So I've been here about 10 years now, and I work with a real mixture of different care homes from sort of your smaller standalones all the way through to your big national care groups. Um, I also regularly attend the trade shows, which are specific for care, one of which is coming up at the end of the month, so the care show. And it does help to give me a great understanding of sort of the specific requirements that care homes need at the moment and also some of the friction points, which I know we're going to talk about today as well.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And I think, as I touched on earlier, I think it's all about having a robust infection process at every touch point. That's what's a really key priority for any care operator. Um, and it's absolutely critical that within that they meet all of the requirements of both the CQC and the water board. And obviously, it's not the environment where any kind of domestic machine would suffice. In your experience, obviously, with the conversations that you're having, what would you say are the kind of specific challenges that care homes face when it comes to laundry provision?
I think there are a number of factors, but obviously, CQC have tightened their inspection framework. So there are some real requirements that each care home must comply with now. And obviously, every care home is going to need to meet these specific requirements. So there is a number of things that we need to think about and when we partner with the care homes. So we need to advise them on obviously these strict requirements that they need to meet. You mentioned there, Hannah, about the domestic machines. Domestic machines do not meet the requirements purely and simply because they won't meet the hygiene levels in terms of the temperatures that they need to meet in order to make sure that infection control is effective. Also, with a domestic machine, you don't have a sluice functionality either. So if you're a care home that has red bag washing and you need specific infection control, these machines will not meet those requirements because you will get, contaminated wash essentially. I think one of the other things as well that the care homes need to consider is that the domestic machines in a commercial environment means it actually invalidates the warranty. So you can have real issues there around getting repairs and replacements for the machines because obviously once that warranty is voided, it then becomes an issue that unfortunately is the care homes and not the manufacturers. So these are all sort of issues and conversations that we're having on a day-to-day basis. And I think the fundamental is to make sure that those requirements are met from a hygiene point of view, really.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I guess when it comes to a compliant laundry
Mhm.
operation within a care home, could you
Yeah.
expand a bit as to what exactly that would look like?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So a compliant laundry will be a laundry function that will meet the right hygiene requirements. And what is meant by that is that for each laundry wash that is put on, it needs to meet a certain temperature. So for example, the Miele commercial machines, they were all compliant because they will meet a 71-degree wash for at least 3 minutes or a 65-degree wash for at least 10 minutes. And by reaching those temperatures, it ensures complete infection control. So these machines are what we would deem as a compliant machine.
Yeah. And also in terms of kind of meeting the requisite RAS requirements, they need to ensure that, as you alluded to earlier, they've got to have the sluice.
Exactly that. Yeah. So they'd need the sluice requirements for any red bag washing as well to ensure that infection control as well.
Yeah, and I think
And
also it goes beyond that, doesn't it, in terms of the staff training and what's required in that area. And maybe you could expand upon that a bit.
yeah, exactly that. So staff training is absolutely key because a machine will do the job that it needs to do. But if the staff are cross-contaminating the laundry and don't have proper segregation of those infected, laundry items, lost my train of thought there, laundry items, then obviously there can be cross contamination. So the machines will do their job as they should, but also staff needs to be informed of exactly what they need to do on a day-to-day basis to make sure that they are meeting those requirements as well. So the two very much go hand in hand.
We do. I think that's it. It goes way beyond the machines themselves. It's got to be the actual process. And that's somewhere where we can really help, can't we? Because we'll help with our site surveys, we'll help with the room layout and we'll do, CAD design provision, looking at the service
Yeah,
and thinking about how they can utilize the space in order to enable that requisite segregation. Uh,
absolutely.
yeah, and I think that really does add value. Um, Another, when it comes to the planning side of things, ozone is obviously an option that is offered to the industry,
Mhm.
but it's not without complications and may or may not necessarily may not be a requirement. So, could you expand a bit on that?
Yeah, sure. So, ozone, a lot of customers that we speak to believe that it's a requirement and that every care home must have ozone to make sure that they meet the specific requirements around hygiene, which is not actually true. So, the Miele commercial machines, as I mentioned before, have these specific programs and they make sure that they meet the hygiene levels by meeting those temperatures that I mentioned before. So, ozone is not actually a necessity, it's an option for people.
So long as
When
you've got the
considering,
thermal and the chemical disinfection in place, that
Mhm.
alone will suffice. Um,
Yes. Yeah, and with ozone, it's not sort of that simple. So there are some increased regulations that you need for ozone as well, and specific sort of safety risks around that as well. So there is a lot to consider when you're thinking about whether you want to go for ozone or whether it's actually, a requirement, which I believe it's not.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I think that's the thing. When it comes to laundry provision, there are a lot of risk assessments that need to be done. And obviously, we would help our clients navigate that space. Um, I think, when it comes to hidden costs of laundry downtime, though, I mean, there can be really far-reaching ramifications if you don't have the right service provision in place. Could you maybe kind of underpin exactly, what happens when a care home's laundry system fails because it can be fairly catastrophic?
Yeah, of course. So the main obvious impact is going to be the buildup of laundry, and with that buildup of laundry is then going to be increased infection risk. So that's a really, really key one. And you need to make sure that you're keeping on top of your laundry to minimize that risk. One of the other things actually that we touched upon before in terms of sort of the financial costs that it can have on a care home, if you are using domestic equipment that aren't covered by their warranty, then that's another additional cost as well. And there is that risk as well that if you have non-compliant machines, essentially you're going to have additional repair costs and you may need to have emergency call outs because you need to have somebody on site immediately. So these are all the sort of key conversations that we're having with care homes all of the time. It's absolutely vital in every sense that these laundry appliances are working regularly and that if there is any downtime that it is absolutely minimal so then it doesn't have this knock-on effect.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it goes beyond the kind of reactive service provision.
Mhm.
We also incorporate preventative maintenance.
Yeah.
And obviously now we've got a connected laundry offering, which
Mhm.
enables higher levels of proactivity. Maybe you could just kind of outline the benefits of our particular service support.
Yeah, of course. So I think you just touched on it there as well. So we'll not only do the annual preventative maintenance, but part and parcel of our complete care package is to give these care homes a complete peace of mind that we are on hand in a same day, next day engineer response time that enables them to basically get up and running immediately. So not only is there a rapid service response time, but also on top of that, we're making sure that we do have all of the essential risk assessments in place, that we are able to monitor the machines, again, as you mentioned before, with the remote monitoring. But also, even right back before we install the machines, it's really vital to us that we're making sure that we do site surveys so that we can get the right appliances in situ from day one, that suit the size and capacity of the actual care home itself. So this sort of ongoing service is not just the reactive service, it is right from day one when we create the relationships with our clients.
Yeah, that's it. And I think, as a family business that's now in our 100th year, I think it's the kind of reliability of our service and that makes us really stand out within the industry. But I
Yeah.
think, as you say, a huge part of that is the fact that we are highly consultative. And our account managers have been with us for many years, and they work really closely with all of the clients in order to deliver a tailored solution for each specific environment, don't they? And I think it's about being a true industry expert and being able to pass on that knowledge, and ensure that everything is right from the get-go. Um, so in terms of the way things are kind of progressing, I think there've been a few other notable changes in recent decades. One of them is that all of our clients across all of the sectors are more driven by sustainability. And I think when it comes to care homes, that's coming from their internal targets, but also from targets that are being applied by the CQC. So
Yeah.
we have expectations that extend beyond the hygiene when it comes to the laundry function. They will be drilling down into the sustainability. Could you maybe kind of discuss how we can help in that regard?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, sustainability is the conversation that I'm having all day, every day, regardless of the sector that we're working in. But yeah, there is an increased pressure from the CQC to ensure that obviously people are making sustainable choices from day one. So I think, we mentioned before about the domestic machines. So domestic machines are not right for this environment. So they're non-compliant, but also obviously they are not built to be on day in, day out. So therefore, from a sustainability point of view, we find a lot of the time that our clients who are using domestic or have previously used domestic are just essentially buying a machine and again getting rid of it. So from a sustainability point of view, it's absolutely not right. So obviously there's always we always encourage them to use the commercial machines because they are more sustainable machines. You can have machines such as heat pump technology. So Miele's heat pump technology will actually save around 65% on your energy efficiency. And also,
Larger fund sizes as well. I mean that.
exactly that. So the drum sizes are larger, so therefore it's fewer cycles, so lower water usage, reduced wear and tear. So all of these things are absolutely key for the care homes to consider. So if they can make the right decisions in the first instance, it's going to have an impact for, further down the line. And I think it just sort of goes beyond that energy efficiency of the actual machines themselves, but also, the responsible partnerships that we have with our partners, like Miele, for example, are also making the right decisions with regards to their ESG and sustainability and having that really sort of embedded in our supply chain as well. So educating the care homes on the most sustainable route for them, and future proofing them really to make sure that they are making those long-term decisions.
That's right. And I think part of that is encouraging them to realize that it goes beyond the procurement cost, isn't it? So if they are looking at driving into a more sustainable delivery, then they do need to consider the fact that the running costs will be considerably lower if they choose a more energy efficient machine. So although potentially the procurement cost may be slightly higher, um, that's the direction they have to go in.
Yeah, of course, because making the right decisions in the early stages of this decision-making process is going to have a huge impact, over a 5-10 year period. So it's about just having those conversations of what those future goals are and how we can best help to them to achieve them, really.
Yeah, that's right. Laura, it's been really interesting. I'm just kind of thinking about wrapping things up, I mean, really, there is just some kind of key takeaways from what we've been discussing. And I think it's that compliance, hygiene, and efficiency go hand in hand. They're all non-negotiables when it comes to care home laundry. And just obviously by choosing Mila's technology and our award-winning service support, then they can really safely and effectively meet the stringent hygiene standards whilst moving towards a more sustainable offering as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's it in a nutshell. And if anybody wants to sort of discuss this further or wants to arrange a site survey, obviously we'd love to hear from you. So please do check out our website, which is www.forbespro.co.uk, and all of our socials as well, where we upload content like this with more information as well, to give you a bit of an overview. If you want to call me for a chat, then again, I'd love to hear from you. So 0345 070 2331. And obviously, even if it's just small questions, anything that you need. But also, I'd love to see as many people as I can at the care show at the end of the month. So myself and my colleague Jill and Kevin will be on the stand. So any questions or any information that you need, please do come and see us. So the stand is C10.
Great. Thank you, Laura. We hope you found that helpful.